All right. Gotta go to the before traffic. They reply back, how do you think we were late now?
Mm-hmm.
You know damn well what kind of club he's talking about. That's
Commentary.
cool. We were just about to go live.
These are the jokes.
They are the jokes.
I like that one.
I do too. Hi everybody. I'll turn the music down. There
Welcome to yet another Fireside Chat.
How's it going?
How is it going?
Wow, it's going, I don't know, weirdly.
And hot.
It is hot. That is true. That is insanely true. In fact, hopefully Neuro doesn't experience that in a trip to the club.
To the club.
Yeah.
Right. He just wants to be in at a club.
But it is very hot. Like,
Indeed.
Like legitimately warm.
Yes. I was saddened that I had to leave my air-conditioned garret in order to make my rounds today and do my errands and come down and talk about the show.
Likewise, slightly up there is my refuge of cold.
Yeah.
This is not it.
This is not it.
I am hot.
Not only am I hot, but it's also very warm in
Very
here.
warm. It is getting hot in here.
Yep, these are the jokes. What's up, everyone? So this week on the Skyward Fireside, for my stand-up,
Yeah.
I was gonna say some stuff that I did. I've been working on music, which I cannot demo yet, but soon will. I have composition. I think I said during my last stand-up that I was going to be learning my, relearning my
Dr.
ancient
Rhythm,
Dr.
yeah,
Rhythm
yeah,
section, my DR5. And so I picked it up and I picked up the manual and was like, how does this ancient technology work? And I put my headphones on and hit go and, hi, Annabelle. And summoned a St. Bernard.
Yep, a very large dog.
Hi. You need to go, Annabelle.
Yep, our dog is kaiju class.
Go on, Annabelle.
There's a chair in the way.
Oh, she's like, but the chair. She got around it to get to me.
Yeah.
And it turns
Planning's
out.
not her strong.
So I threw my headphones on and I turned the thing on and I dialed through it and I found an old piece of composition and was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is how that works. And it instantly knew how it worked. And so I have a piece in progress, but I rapidly reached the limits of that tool's, usefulness. It's very useful. It's super cool. But those in the Discord reminded me that there is a software called LMMS that is open source and LMMS, and it makes the technos. It does the EDMs, and so I have that open now on my machine, and I'm learning that because it does some cool wub and things, and we might be able to use that.
Who doesn't like wub?
Who doesn't like wub? I wub. Wub. True wub is what brings us together.
On the dance floor.
On the dance floor, yeah.
Blowing fingertips.
Dude, in my day, kids, it was glow sticks. You guys get the flickery, cool LEDs that do the different colors and make patterns and do persistence of vision shit. And
Apologies. Heat makes us a little spooky.
it's cool. So yes, I'm learning the musics. I'm also building hexes. The last time I did a hex stream, I think, was Wednesday last week.
Yeah, about a week ago. Yeah, a little over a week. Yeah.
So I'll be doing that some more throughout the week, and it's actually loaded on my other computer at home right now, my Unity project. So I've been doing that. My goal is to bang out one of every hex in the fire section, and then move on to whatever the next world is going to be. Something I see. And so yeah, so building hexes and music for D.U.D.E have been that's true. Right. Or I could take the pieces that you've already got for dark and build out all those hexes too.
True.
One way or the other, that's the goal. Get all the hexes built. And then get some music written. And so those are my two D.U.D.E related things I'm working on. And then there was Theleston. And with Theleston, I have one thing that's really kind of cool.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then really sort of maybe not as cool, but it's on its way. And that that'll cap off my stand up with that. But so I've been thinking about the campaign because we didn't play our last playtest. We need to play our next playtest. So I'm trying to figure out when we're going to schedule that. That's going to have to be put over in the Discord where we figure that one out.
At this point, it's probably just
At this point, it's just wait till Sunday. Yeah. As I was gone last week. So we're probably going to pick that back up on Sunday. So I've been thinking about how that's going to roll and what pieces we all need for the imminent combat. I wrote a bestiary entry for the creature that you're about to fight so that we have I know what it is now, and I have some core stats for it and that sort of thing. I also know what its attack patterns and that sort of, technical details, but how many attacks it has, what the attacks are, that sort of thing. I wrote that all out in the bestiary.
Yeah, stances, basically.
Yeah, and I didn't write it as a combat stance because I was going to collaborate with you to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Just its entry. And some plot points for what happens afterwards, depending on what you guys do and how that combat goes. I talked.
Oh, hey, what's up, Swartz?
Yeah, what's up? Other than the big thing, that's all I did for Theleston is work on the campaign, specifically with regard to the bestiary for that combat and then the campaign afterwards. And I made a bunch of cool stuff that I showed to the patrons. That stuff's gonna hit the mail soon, and that's replacement cool stuff.
Yeah, for the stuff that got
we
talked about that last stream.
Actually. Yeah. I showed them, right?
Yeah.
So they need to hit the mail. I think that's gonna be tomorrow, maybe this evening. It depends. I've got those all packaged up, but I need to write out all of the addresses, which takes about an hour. Sit and write everybody's address down, and then drop in the mail. And then there was the map. And so the map, I got the photographs done, and we may, I don't know if I may have to reshoot it, we may not. We're doing some tweaky stuff.
Well, here, we can show you.
But let's just show you.
In fact, I think I can just go. There we go, there it is.
Ding! Check that out.
So, you guys, you'd have to look at the ruler to realize how big that image is. But that's a very big image.
Yes, it's large.
Verde, it's a wealth kappa.
DM status.
But yeah, so it's a super large image, but there are a couple of challenging issues.
Right. So my photographer took this out in broad daylight to get the whitest, most broad spectrum light.
Full spectrum light on it, yeah.
Which is cool. And we do have a nice high contrast. It pops really nice. The blues are looking nice with the other colors. It's nicely saturated. I like almost everything about it.
Almost. Let me show you one of the problems really quick. So, let's say that I come down here to this corner and I drag a perfect parallelogram, corner to corner. You'll notice some of the map doesn't make it inside the rectangle.
Right.
And on one of the other corners, there's too much excess material on the other side.
Right.
Which implies that the image is slightly skewed.
Exactly. The view is askew.
Right. So we might be able to fix that digitally.
Yes. Because it's not a giant deviation.
Right.
And it's hand drawn, so you may not notice the blends.
I don't think it's gonna warp anything that actually would matter.
Right.
So I'm gonna take a stab at that this week.
Yeah.
And see if we can avoid a reshoot, because a reshoot adds another week delay
to the process. Right.
Right.
Right. And it's 5 days in. It's 5 days at the printer Well, he said 3 if he rocks it. So
Yeah, but it's 7 days at the printer then. Right. I understand. So yeah, it's fucking gorgeous otherwise, right? Like it's awesome. But it's skewed, and it's actually technically not quite the right size
right.
either.
Right. That's a really large image, but still not exactly pixel to pixel.
Right. So we may be forced to reshoot it, period. That may just be the case. And the good news is it won't cost us any extra money to do so. Just time. But considering how long this project has taken already, I think we should spend, we should not spend more time if we can avoid it. So I'm going to try to avoid it. But if we can't, we'll have to reshoot it. But you can see we have maps.
Yep, the map. Holy crap, it's the map.
Yep.
And it occurs to me, actually, I did another thing. I updated the Patreon because we're slowly but surely moving towards a sustainable-ish, hopefully, model. We're doing some things with our stuff. We're moving towards an idea.
Yeah, we have probably the lowest burn rate of any developers that I know of that actually have a studio.
Yeah.
And so what we're trying to do is figure out a way to get our burn rate
covered
so that we can develop full time. Because, for example, and I'll just give my stand-up since we're talking about it.
Well, yeah, that's the pin.
I did very little this week. I fixed a bunch of bugs on D.U.D.E. I rebuilt some of the camera code on D.U.D.E. And I started working on fixing the broken animation on the golems on D.U.D.E.
Yes. No, you built a player object thing that keeps the UI and the player and the persistent data.
I did all that last week.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I debugged it this week,
okay.
but I wrote it last week. I actually talked about it on the stream. That's the load screen and all that shit.
Yeah.
And all of that, is all in now and it works and it's debugged and that's great. But that was like 2 days worth of work. The rest of the week I had to spend outside of Skyward trying to keep the lights on in very literal ways.
Yeah, I've been sending you guys pictures of the Cubans I served, man.
Right.
Good shit.
Right. So we need to get that off the effing table.
Yeah.
And so that's our goal. Our goal right now is to figure out a way that we can get the money that handles our burn rate. And if we run at literally the leanest we can possibly run, our burn rate is relatively small for a game studio.
It's really small for a game studio.
Sure. At about $5,000 a month.
Correct.
Right. It's actually less than an employee, but
correct. So what we did was we set our Patreon goal ups that's just the goal, and it's stated because then I could be working 24/7 on Theleston stuff, on D.U.D.E stuff. Like all my day would be Skyward Star, talking to you guys in the Discord and making cool stuff and writing the stories and making the game, because D.U.D.E could be done in 2 months if it was something. 3 months.
3 months.
3 months. If it was something I was working on full time.
And that would be PC version. Switch is going to take longer.
Correct.
Just for cert.
Yes, I don't even.
That's the thing I did. I signed up to be a Nintendo developer.
Oh, and you got us on Steam.
And we're Steam developers.
And we're Steam
Right,
developers.
I did a little bit more last week. I'm feeling a little bit better about myself.
Yeah, way to be an admin.
Yeah, I forgot I did business.
That's right. Well, and yeah, I don't count it in my stand-up, but I sent 10 or 15 blasts of, "Hi, we're Skyward Star, and we'd love to do your content for you." We've helped lots of studios like yours bring their products to market.
I've been doing that solid for the last month and a half, though.
Yeah. That's why I didn't count it in.
Yeah, it's just not the time. Nobody's looking.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Is looking.
Well, in the letters I get back, I'll say stuff like, "Well, we really like someone in house."
Right.
I'm like, "Shit, you can Skype my ass, man. I'm imminently available."
Well, so it's for D.U.D.E.
Yeah.
Poll. So not yet. I can make it go live as soon as we provide a few pieces that we haven't yet. A video of it working.
We want a video of it working.
Some screenshots, logo art. There's a checklist you have to go through.
Right.
Basically, and Most of it is stuff we can produce immediately if we wanted to, but I've actually been holding off because I wanted to develop an actual plan.
Well, we have a few, right, because we have a few different routes we could go. We could go with Fig, we could go with Kickstarter for just the 3 months we need, because that's probably achievable if we had enough flash to show.
Right.
But it has to look really good. Mind you, when you power up the engine, it does look pretty good right now. But
it looks like a game in progress.
Right.
There's no question about that.
Right.
With janky animations, spell effects that are only roughed in. No, it's a fucking game in progress.
Absolutely. Yes. So we need to cut that stuff together so it looks like something that you would fund for that,
Right. Exactly. But if we do a Kickstarter like that, our goal would be run the studio for enough time to finish what we're calling, the early access rev of the game, which is basically infinite endless mode and Twitch mode, where the audience gets to fuck with the player as he plays.
Right.
But if we want to do anything else, like a story mode or a single player, not a single player, but leaderboards and times and ghost runs and stuff like that, that would all be after.
Yeah, stretch goal.
Right. Because the whole point is just get it done enough that we can take it to publishers, right? And then see where we go from there. That said, as soon as we're ready to do that, if we do that Kickstarter, it's going to go up as an early access game at the end of that period at the exact same time, because there's no reason not to do that.
Correct.
So this is the plan as far as that stuff goes, but that means that I need to coordinate when the Steam stuff goes on and all of this other stuff, and that needs to be planned, literally planned. We need to sit down and calendar it out. Basically.
Yes. You could, if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, I guess I could.
It's pretty. We were just getting to this, the talky part of the talk show.
It was just a nice map.
Thank you. So, map progress. I'm not sure what the next map is going to be, but I'm because I have the whole station set up, and I don't really have another use for that art space right now.
Mm-hmm.
I might just start busting out other Theleston related patron products and gifts. So, all about how I can use my time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the other thing that I think would be a fun thing to do. We talked about it a little last week, just you and I.
Right.
But we think that there's a revenue stream in making cool stuff if we approach it the right way. Now, patrons would always get their cool stuff for free.
Well, for their patronage.
But you know how there are companies that do boxes or thing of the quarter clubs and that kind of stuff. We think maybe a cool thing every couple of months club might be something worthwhile if we can come up with some cool products that are easy and cheap to make.
Right.
Each one would have story. It's an
experience. Right? You open the box, you get a little bit of story, you get the artifact that goes with the story. The thing that it's sort of the thing that we do for our patrons anyway, but it seems like a product. If there was enough to show to get, to get a
something
person to
that
buy.
Would justify, $45 every 3 months or something.
Right. Exactly.
Probably $50 every 3 months. Just
I think that's fair.
But yeah, so that's something that we're considering doing too.
Yeah, and it's another reach for that. If we could just get
cool
the
stuff
studio
we provide for patrons is kind of R&D in that direction right now.
Right.
In fact,
it's absolutely R&D in that. I'll just say so. It's R&D in that direction. Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. You need a lore base. You need something for someone to get into. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So that's sort of what another thing we're kicking around. Right.
The trick is we need to engage a revenue stream to get there.
Right.
And D.U.D.E is probably that for us, since we really don't need a lot. But
right.
The D.U.D.E itself needs to get there.
Correct.
That's our current challenge.
Indeed.
Oh, and to answer your question, Paul, the GameSpark deal is actually explicit to the Theleston companion app.
Yeah.
And I got the impression that they would not be willing to expand that deal to other products, which makes sense from their standpoint.
Yeah, because they want
basically
license.
giving away the milk for free at that point.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, so the answer is I can only ask them about the companion app, which they are fucking great about. Don't get me wrong. I am not dissing GameSparks. They're awesome. They're just very hyper-focused on the one thing we talked about when we made that deal.
Right. So there you have it. Fireside. Anybody have cool questions?
Yeah.
Lore questions?
Is it question time?
World questions? I could do into question time.
You like that logo?
Yeah, it is a good one. Well cleaned. I like it. Bespoke post. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, it's a thing that I'm doing anyway, and it's a thing I would like to do for a living, and it's a thing that I could do for you guys.
We would do it quarterly too. It's not something we would do monthly. A, they take time to make.
Take time to develop.
But B, I don't want to add anything to our schedule that eats time.
Right.
And so
it takes us away from our other.
Cool stuff schedule is already in the calendar.
Right.
Right. But if we were to go more frequently, that wouldn't be the case.
Right.
So we're thinking quarterly.
Absolutely.
But as we were also discussing, we need to build the world of Theleston for people before that's really viable.
Absolutely, Verde Manzana. All sorts. Yeah, no, those two.
You can't say orgies.
Really? That's stricter than I would be.
Yeah, I wonder why the automod is so... Oh, I wonder if it's the S word.
Oh. Maybe.
Theleston
What's up, Miss Kane Waya? Did I pronounce that correctly? Miss Gain Waya? I'm not even gonna try. Yeah. Yes, there are courtships for sure, and they run from simple and shy to on the level of Cyrano de Bergerac, depending on which city you're in and what stories you're writing, and
There's a couple of stories that mention courtships offhand.
Certainly,
there's one where a girl is pining for a dude in Havensport, as I recall, and it's just mentioned in passing. It's not the story. And then there's kind of pivotal to one of the stories.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a story about a courtship. It's just
it includes jealousy and drama.
No, there's a lot of both of those. Yeah, absolutely. Miskani. Thank you. Twitch is on. Yeah, in fact, there is a core storyline that talks about a courtship and how it can go.
Yeah, that one's kind of whirlwind.
Yeah, I liked it. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
So,
social mores are different from place to place. So how one goes about courting might be wildly different.
Yeah, for certain.
But people definitely couple.
Yes. Yeah, and some people do couple for long periods. There are different traditions in different places, differently, what you might call like binding ceremonies or hand fasting, but they don't necessarily use that term. That's
there's no marriage in Crown's Rock.
Right, not officially. Like correct.
No one cares.
The Nodensian Church doesn't have a marriage.
Right. Nobody
practice.
Cares if you've decided that you are coupled with a person for life or anything like that. It's not that.
Right.
It's that governmentally, ministerially.
Yeah, there is no tax contract that is you two become one unit.
There is no concept of you have become one thing.
Right. Likewise, the Nodensian Church doesn't have a marriage ceremony so much as sometimes people couple,
Right.
Yeah, and that was actually explicit years back.
Yeah. But that's not true everywhere,
No, exactly. Fall Creek has practices that actually have traditions related to them, but again, it's not a binding legal tax contract or anything. It's more like these are the things people do when they're going to family up, and in Fall Creek actually it's more like marriage is more like being accepted into a family group rather than between just the two individuals. It's a generational thing, and the elders and broad brothers and sisters that all live in the same household all are involved. So Any other questions? Also, that sounds like a question you should have asked like in February. Like that would have been right up the February alley.
Oh, I see. Because it's yeah.
Because duh. We're in the middle of summer. This is like
It's hot summer.
Yeah, this is rutting time. Ugh. What? More like one family adopting in this one and thus attaching a thread to the other. So
yeah, it's kind of how they build communities in a way.
Very much, yeah, very much how they do. That whole web of, extended family in the one home, and then with the threads to the other homes. It's like you want that household to also thrive because you either have someone who came from there or you have someone who came from you as a part of that.
Yeah, and even though it's never been officially said, we can infer from a few stories that the Valyri marry.
Right.
That the citizens of Valar marry. I don't know about
the Valyri themselves. Yeah, they have probably a different method. Or, Cirith. No. Cirith is about abandon, lust, not in a bad way, but the holy works of Cirith don't. What happens for Cirith stays with Cirith.
It's battle. Not in that way.
Yeah, not really.
I think if the followers
I think their love celebration looks a lot like sex.
Yeah, I think if the followers of Cirith had a love celebration, our auto mod would prevent them from speaking.
Right, probably.
Though, what about I'm dying here. Dano's wife.
Oh, Hylety.
Thank you.
So
they're married.
They're married.
So, that's why I was asking. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're they are the grand patriarch and matriarch of the Fall Creek people, the Falkirk, in general. So they're in everyone's house, and they have the threads through all.
Okay, that makes sense. I see it.
And they are coupled, and they both have ascendancy, a time of ascendancy.
Right, absolutely.
Like, as I've said before, the tale goes, they have an agreement between the two of them, and then he lets her go and be free and wild during the time when you have spring and summer. And then he gets lonely and wishes she was back warming his hearth instead of the world. And so he brings her back during the fall and then the winter, and takes her home. She stays at the hearth.
I'd imagine that weddings in Baylor are effing parties with like fireworks and balls,
streamers and bands, and yes, absolutely true. Yeah,
the halls of swords and.
Yes, Verde, absolutely. Dano, Hammer of Winter. And Hylety, which is the Summer's Rose.
But I also imagine that the Goravi probably... Do they marry? How does that work?
So, you mean like original tribal... The nomads.
Before things went bad.
Before things went bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before things went bad, people didn't marry. They would couple for a period, and then they would uncouple, because they were all one sort of tribal thing. Also, the women and the men didn't stay together all of the time.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
So
that's a totally different dynamic.
Right. So at times they would be in the place where the women were, and they would share, and then there would be the time where they would travel together, and then there would be the time when they would be apart, and there was no marriage when they were apart. And so, yeah, they have a more complex social dynamic with regard to, people being together. And then the Colossians had no sort of like propriety between the people. If they were to couple, it would be in the moment.
Oh, okay.
Right. You don't own that person, right? She's not your girlfriend. She is that girl.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And you are not her boyfriend.
That's actually different from what I thought.
There's no obligation beyond what they're doing in the time. Right? Because they were all sovereign one to the other. Like they all had complete equality, the men and the women. So it was more just it was like an agreement. It's hard to explain because we have such a hard perspective on coupling, right? Basically, in a way they were polyamorous all amongst themselves, but not in the way that could be perceived as maybe they were all sexing each other. It's not exactly what was going on,
I could see an idiot from the outside looking in drawing that conclusion.
Right? It's not exactly like that.
No, it's more about sovereignty, like personal sovereignty.
Right. Yeah, the Colossians. I just answered that. They were about mutual respect in the moment and an exchange of love in that time, but that didn't make her less than him or him less than her, and they didn't have any lasting tie beyond their respect one for the other.
Yeah, you might travel together for a while, but not
right. They just didn't have the concepts in their society of, well, now you're mine,
Right. I like Zero's question.
Yeah, I agree. Beyond the Capulet and the Montague stuff happens
all over.
It just would. It's just that's people, man.
In most places, no. To answer Miss Kinney's question.
Yeah, not really.
Miss Kinney.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you have your boy meets girl, fall in love, and make a baby. That happens. That's people. But depending on where you are, it's
who raises the kids
in Kalaja? Well, yeah, no one anymore. Yeah. They had crutches.
Reared. That's the past tense.
They had crutches. Babies were raised at particular temples.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Temples to particular gods.
That makes sense. Line as
also spoilers, lore drop.
As elements of your culture would dictate.
This is all stuff that you would have explored Kalaja in Revival to learn. Kalaja was the greatest mystery in the world we had described.
Answering these questions are literally the reason archaeologist was a thing
you could do. Right. So, but, now you know. Elders who like babies.
Anima?
Anima, for sure. Hylity. Hylity's down with the babies. Well, you don't pray. Rawr. Rawr.
Yeah, that's a little bad religion-y.
Now, if you're pregnant in Greyshore, you're probably an animist.
Yeah, probably. Though if you're Falkirk,
could be Hylity for sure. Absolutely, because fecundity is Hylity's thing. That's what she's about. So, not that are popular now, not that are known about. It would have been one of the when the location I had designed that was the crutch would be discovered. You would have
actually know who that is.
You would have, yeah. So didn't give me
the answer to the question is yes, but we don't have any more information to give you.
Yeah. How does Bast feel about children? Probably like a mama cat feels about kittens.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think she's opposed, but
yeah, I don't think she's opposed to kids. I think she probably thinks that they're learning and playing.
So and there are goos that care about fertility as well.
Yes,
Hydra, for example.
Oh yeah, in a big way.
In fact, the whole Trinity is kind of about that.
Right.
We know Yog likes kids.
Well, because they're soft and febrile minds.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah. Azathoth likes everything. It's tasty.
Yeah. I'll eat that. Yes, I'll eat that too.
Are you going to eat that?
Yeah, yep. Yes. That's what Azathoth said. Yes, I will. I will eat all of it. In the end.
And to go back to Zero's question about whether there are unions that may or may not be frowned upon by the gods,
Yeah.
Remember that
absolutely.
physical corruption is a thing. So if you associate with the powers that gods oppose, those gods will come to oppose you because that corruption is obvious.
Right.
So marry someone who is corrupted, guilt by association.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm not gonna bite, Cloaked. I see what you did there. Not gonna bite. Of course, you show up on one of my DOP crew streams and drop that, I'll probably sing. Absolutely. It's the monastery. So you're talking about the Colossians again, right? They
Crutches,
and yeah. Stop it. No,
it's gotta stop working after a while.
I know. See, zero jumped on that grenade for me. They're absolutely given a sense of self and individualism. It's just that culture believed that the kids were best raised with themselves, all brothers and sisters, in this way to be taught that they were each sovereign equals under the gaze of this particular god and the priestesses of that god. And they, I get, for lack of a better word, priestesses, but they were matrons. They were ladies that took care of the babies until they, raised them, and they raised them at different temples at different stages of their lives. But yeah.
I've not been paying attention anymore.
No.
I've become so numb.
No, I've become so numb. I can't see you there. The Broguines. How do the Broguines feel about union?
Well, if we assume that Crown's Rock is... Well, no, because that's Nodensian, isn't it? How do the Broguines think about union? I don't think we've ever talked about that.
We haven't. No. I've mentioned that there were both men and women that were Broguine monks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. The Nodensians, too.
Yeah. And, I assume that they have probably a structure for... They have a structure for everything. Like, that's the Broguine way, So, yeah. Well, they certainly don't have any. They don't have any vows of celibacy, and the Broguines aren't like
celibacy's not really an issue for them.
Yeah, they don't really care about sex. They're not puritanical in any sort of way about boobies or
though I
getting
imagine
it on.
That just as a result of dedication to what they do, a lot of them are celibate.
It's potential, and their idea they don't know. They are the ones who understand most about like communicable disease, so they might have some sorts of social taboos about being promiscuous. But no, they like boobs. They just don't care if you show them. They're not going to be like, that's bad. No boobs. In fact, there are no cultures that I've written that are
nudity taboo.
Nudity taboo. Yeah.
No,
it doesn't. None of my cultures have
we generally
nudity
think
taboos.
of the Broguine as humorless, and so we might assume that also means that they are
certainly Verde. Yes,
that they are prudish, but that's not
necessarily true. Just academic. So yeah, they probably figured out the.
And literally Verde.
Yes, yes, they're the only ones that practice that sort of medicine.
Right.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. They are not boobs are not hypersexualized. Anima has 6. I don't think there's anyone fapping to the goddess. And I wonder, that might amuse her.
Well, now that you've said it, Rule 34 guarantees it's true.
Yes, it's true. Also, that's the name of my first Q-List album.
Rule 34?
No, Fapping to the Goddess.
Fapping to the Goddess. Oh, that makes way more sense.
Doesn't it? Yeah, I'm in. I gotta make a note.
It's a stag's head.
She's not a Fuda, man.
I'm pretty sure that's a Tool song.
No, it does not. It's not a Fuda.
It's not a Fuda.
It's not a Fuda.
That's a clip for you.
That's Verde's Twisted Yog cult.
Yep.
No, not for anima. Do we have a picture we can show Miss Gane of what?
Oh yeah, hold on a second. Let me look at the edge of the screen like I'm looking at.
Oh, hey, what about the t-shirts? Weren't we doing t-shirts?
Oh yeah, I can give you guys an update on why we're not doing t-shirts.
Yeah, what's up?
So do you remember back when we first started making t-shirts?
Yeah.
I made a promise.
Yeah.
That I would never sell a shirt I can't wear.
Oh, and now our fulfillment company? This is the thing you posted about the other day.
Fulfillment companies who will sell my all-over print design in my goddamn size.
What?
That's what I say to that. Not to you. You guys are cool.
Yep.
But to
you guys are the shit. So, can somebody find us a fulfillment company that will give us a
all-over print
in
3 and 4X,
in triple and quad X?
Whoa! I have found none. So
yeah, we'll have to find out.
Yeah, that's actually literally the.
Yeah.
I could pull the trigger right now for all you
skinny people,
regular size.
All you skinnies.
Yeah, all you normies. Do we have?
I'm sure we had an anima. Anima is wild and free. She don't need no bra on her 6 boobie.
Transition.
Play shit.
That's Animal right there.
There you go.
I'm not gonna leave that up there though. FYI.
Yeah. Our auto mod might,
But there you go.
not let us chat about it.
That's Animal. Hi.
Hi. Yes. I was told it could don't be a thing. Yes, goddess of both life and of death. She is what takes the raw energy of the cosmos and spins the people of Theleston.
Yep.
He did not have a penis. Yeah. And then Nodens creates all the non-living stuff.
The
like
material.
The material, right? He's the material, she's the life.
The material god.
Well, for those living in a material world.
Yeah.
But anime is an immaterial girl.
That's true.
Okay.
She in an immaterial realm.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. So there you have it. An immaterial girl. So.
Any more questions?
This is going to be a dumb question coming from someone who has been here a while. Okay, cloaked.
Wait for
it. Yep. There is typing furiously on the internet. Ah.
A couple.
A few.
My favorite is Beth Kalor.
Yeah, goddess of wanton murder.
Yep.
Bloodshed.
Because she all you can't worship her without sacrifice.
That's what she wants. She wants you to let that blood flow. Buckets and buckets and fucking buckets and buckets of blood.
She's not alone either. Both Hydra and Dagon like blood sacrifice.
Yep. No, Hydra's into it.
As I recall, Cthulhu likes conversion more than sacrifice.
Yeah. He's gonna
and that's mythos lore I'm talking about. But yeah.
Yeah. Barack isn't really into bloodshed by nature. He's more a brute sort of dude, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Bast kind of likes blood.
Kinda. Yeah. Depends on how it's shed.
Right. Like there's a trick to it in her case, but she likes the fight.
Yeah. Exactly.
The quick,
Right. Yeah, and then marriage in Tide's End, we kind of covered earlier, and that's that there isn't a government, there isn't a tax contract that is established or anything like that. Sorry, Zero. It's more about how you, in your social group, choose to express your marriage, or your coupling, however that goes.
That said, Tizen has a sort of like meticulous process of, what do they call it? Probate?
Sort of for
inheritance.
Oh yeah,
right. And so lineage matters, but not so much by marriage. Lineage matters in terms of who your parents were and what they owned versus what you're going to own and what you pass on.
Yeah.
But that has a lot to do with the fact that the big businesses in Tide's End are family affairs that have been running for generations. So it's not so much like a deliberate social thing as so much as it is a behavior that they've all fallen into by virtue of how they all came to their resources.
Yeah. Yep, that's true.
Yeah, I think Yogg regifts though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think he's kind of like Cthulhu in that he probably prefers conversions.
Yeah.
So that he doesn't have to do the dirty work himself.
He can just shuffle off the whole pile. Eat them. For sure. Any other questions?
Right.
He's a manager.
Exactly.
Indeed. Mumble. Think.
Mumble.
You should talk. All you do is moan. Correct there, Day. What?
Well, if it's winding down, I don't mind calling it early because it is still very hot.
It's hot, and I have music to thump with and tinkle with, and I have to learn how this LMMS works. I think
that's liminal.
Yeah, liminal, maybe
burgeoning. Maybe you need multiple limbs to manipulate.
Liminal. Whatever. I had coffee for breakfast.
I had rice. At 2:00, so I don't know if that counts as breakfast.
I don't think I've eaten anything.
I think awesome, right? Loaded it with Rajka. Great.
No, I haven't eaten today.
My face burn.
I had coffee, but I haven't eaten. I need to eat.
That's a good idea.
I also had some tea.
Yeah, if we got a little closer down to the ocean, you're saying, Zero, we'd be better off.
Yeah.
There is more cancer here than in other states, for what it's worth.
True enough. Well, I do believe in coffee.
I love coffee.
What if we could get giant coffee cups, and then you could do your side print on the giant coffee cup?
Oh, like a comically large coffee cup?
Yes.
They absolutely exist. So you can make those. I don't know where, but
both. Then I don't know that there's a distinction.
Reminds me, I have a new coffee.
Yeah.
/rug emoji works on my machine.
Perfect. Certainly more than one, in fact.
Yeah, there's one in Baylor.
Yep.
There are many shrines in Crown's Rock, but most of them are crypto ship.
Yeah, sort of hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even wrote a little about that. Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, we talked about how vast worship worked in Crown's Rock a lot back in the day.
Back in the day, right. It was relevant.
Yeah, I actually really liked the work into how vast worshippers went about their day in a place like Crown's Rock, because it was a more accurate take on how
crypto religions happen.
Yeah, first of all, it was a fucking crypto religion. Name another video game where that's the case, that it wasn't the point of the story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, but there are pieces of world history where the whole world hinges on the fact that these religions were forced into a particular position or whatever. Think of the 1500s, think of the 1100s, right? Yep. And no fantasy games really touch on that unless it's like literally I'm going to write my JRPG about religion.
About religions, right?
Which is cool,
make a point.
But I didn't really want to make a point. I just wanted to portray what it was really like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Trippy shit to me. That was cool. Cool part of the story, I think.
Yeah. Yep, exactly, Verde.
Yeah. So,
Cool. Any more?
while you're thinking about it, I would just like to say a big thank you to all of our patrons and anyone who has gone to our Patreon. And, kick down. You guys are the best. You're keeping the lights on as much as I can.
Also, yeah, it's worth pointing out too that our patrons should feel chuffed.
Certainly chuffed, because this Saturday I wasn't here to tell you you should feel chuffed.
Gratitude, and yes. To say, here's to you.
Indeed.
Long
Cheers.
life, good health.
All that. I'm not shooting the 100 proof while the
Huzzah.
sun is still up.
Yeah, nope.
Huzzah. I will drink with you again Wednesday nights. And then this Saturday, I'll be able to actually say to your face and raise a glass again, as I promised that I usually do weekly.
Are gods primarily aware of what's happening in the world via their followers? Like, if I went around eating cats by the hundreds, but no one knew or saw it, it was me doing it directly. Bass worshippers weren't aware of it, but Bass noticed due to the volume.
Bass would notice because you probably eat one of her cats.
Yeah. Also, don't eat cats.
Don't eat cats.
Not in Theleston. That's a really bad idea.
Bad idea.
But to answer your question in a more general sense, in the Revival MMO, we were kind of modeling it so that the gods were not exactly all aware, but really effing close. So the power of their temples and shrines in the world sort of dictated their spheres of awareness, but they were really big.
Yeah.
So to escape Bast notice, you would have to go to the hinterlands where nobody worshipped Bast at all.
Yeah.
Right. That kind of thing. Because we wanted you to have to run from the gods when the trouble happened, like when they noticed that you were shit.
Yeah.
Pardon my language.
Yes. When you were going against their way, eventually they would notice, and then you would have to flee them in some way. You'd have to hide from their gaze.
God damn it. I would have turned the auto mod down at some point.
Clearly, yeah. It's got you earmarked, Zero.
Yep. I think it's turned up one notch above what we normally use on the DOP crew, because this is a professional channel. But I didn't realize how much more draconian one notch on that slider is. You should tell Twitch that, man.
You should, yeah. Hey now.
Are you aware?
It's funny.
I bet you they'd be mortified.
Yeah, I bet you're right. We didn't mean to. Wait a minute. Is it because you were talking about eating? Hey.
No, I think it's because of BI star.
Okay. I see. All right. Well, can you do the Theleston thing with the
Oh, sure. I can bang Theleston.
Bang. Those are links you should go investigate if you're a new person. You should find that out. Click on those.
Yeah, the top link is our Patreon, where you can support us directly if you like.
That would be awesome. I'd really appreciate it.
Supporters at the $25 tier or higher get cool stuff sent to them from time to time.
Time to time.
There's even a promise of a hug in there somewhere.
Oh, you can hug. I'll get a hug.
Just saying. The other links are places where you can either see stuff we've done or hang out with us or read about Theleston.
Yeah.
And please, by all means, come to all of those.
Go do those things. We will be here again on Tuesday and on Sunday this week, if I remember correctly, at different times. Sunday is 2:30 MDT? No, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock MDT. Sunday is 2 o'clock MDT. And we will be doing the playtest. And then we will also be back Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. MDT for this Fireside chat. We'll talk about everything we did for Skyward Star and for Theleston and for D.U.D.E during the week, and plead with you to let us make more cool things for you, because that's what we would like to do.
And yeah, we'll stream dev sometimes.
Yep.
Whenever it's appropriate. And it's
Follow this channel. Keep an eye on it.
When it's not plastic meltingly hot outside.
Yeah. Well, and maybe even when it is, if I'm sitting in my living room.
Reading about how bad it is in Phoenix and in Vegas.
Yeah, I've seen pictures.
Literal street signs melting.
I've seen pictures of the trash cans outside. Yeah.
Because they're all made out of plastic these days.
Right.
And it turns out the melting point of plastic is what the ambient temperature is.
Outside.
Think about that.
In Phoenix. Also.
In Vegas, too.
Well,
40 plus C.
America has 2 deserts, the Sonora and the Mojave.
Yeah, yes.
Neither one of those words translates into, this is a good place to live.
We have 3 if you count the one that's in Washington. It's tiny, though.
That's that little, I forgot about that one. Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Mojave is fuck this in Native American.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Sonora is I died there, I think.
Oh, I see. I had it the other way around.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
People die here, I think. Is what
Oh my God. Oh, I would hate to be running a data center in heat like that without the AC. You're dead. You're doomed.
You're over. Yeah. Also, maybe Vegas isn't a great place to build your fucking data center. Cheap land, flat.
Oh, man, I wonder how many of those like portable fans and stuff were jammed into the alleys between racks. You know?
Yep. Bought out every grocery store in a 10-mile radius of ice.
Yep. We worked at a place called VR1 where that happened once. VR1 was like what Gazillion is these days, but for what MMOs were before graphics, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
They were a huge online company, but they dealt in very small games by today's standards.
Yep.
But they had this massive data center as part of the studio because they had all their servers in-house. And same deal happened. We lost... what happened was a water pipe burst, and that water pipe destroyed the AC that had been custom built for their data center. And so, like, they literally wheeled every fan we had into that room. They were buying bags of ice. Like, it was insane.
Yeah. And yeah. Sheets. Cookie sheets, man. And yeah, that I remember. And they had the air go with the pump, with the pipe, the tube.
Yeah. God, the rest of the office got so goddamn hot that day.
Yes. It was wicked. But, like you do. Don't live in the desert.
Preferably.
That's my take.
I would say come live here, but
no.
You know, if you want to make games, it's not really a good idea.
Yeah. Also, one of these days we're going to stop giving them our water.
Oh, yeah, when the wars start.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting.
That's cool. My municipal reservoirs are not part of that network. So.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, plus I live where the water is.
Yep.
So.
And for what it's worth, we'll screw the western half of our own state before we screw everybody else because they have the weakest water rights. But,
yeah. And all the way down the chain.
But I've actually literally looked into this after reading a book called The Water Knife by Paolo Bacigalupi. We really are going to go to war between the states for water in the next 100 years.
100 years or so, you know.
Be ready.
Move north. On the nice big ass fans.
Big ass fan pre-assembled.
Awesome. So there you have it. Water. And big ass fans.
And big ass fans. Pre-assembled.
Pre-assembled.
Yeah, I was gonna say where you live, it's probably okay.
For a while, yeah. It'll be good.
How's the ambient light level?
Yeah. Steady. Unchanging. And yeah, Miskane, South Dakota's pretty, but it gets kind of chilly.
Oh yeah. I have a friend, guy we work whose family owns a farm in Minnesota. And he's like, I love going there in the summer. And I'm like, oh, cool. Would you go back there for Christmas? And he's like, F no.
Yep.
Everything freezes. It's 6 feet of snow.
Uh-huh. I live in my rain shadow and I'm happy. That all said, weather discussion, kibitzing. Thanks for being our patrons. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming to our show. We
really appreciate your support.
Come talk to us in Discord and come back again.
We are going to call it a night, though.
Yeah.
So we will see you all there.